Hello, my name's Tris and this is Double O'Neill. I want to talk to you about a fun little project I've been up to. If you've seen my channel in the past, you'd see that I've enjoyed doing some of my own ideas where you come up with an 040 pannier or completely freelance type logo that looks a bit like a prairie. I wanted to make something out of a Dapol kit that I picked up from Tony's Trains of Rugby. The little kit itself is an 060 diesel. I wanted to make one of my own little dirty diesels, and picking up a power bogie from just eBay. I think it was like maybe £30. So this is the hefty part of buying it. It's meant for class 43, the 125 HST, and you could probably pick up anything. And I thought it'd be nice to make something that's like the Dock Authority shunter. So this one, in fact, you might have seen this. It's by Triang. You can pick them up on eBay for not too much. And I thought, it'd be good if I could paint this up in BR colours and maybe use it. But the power bogie type situation under here, it's just massive with the flanges and the motor's all wrong. So I just thought, how about I get one of these, And but it was, looking at this, got my screen just there, checking the size, and I felt it was a bit too small. The DS 48, the Rushton little loco that you would have seen, the kind of more famous Laurie from Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. He's got one, a real one, in fact, and I do have one of the Hornby ones, and this really nice little loco. And I wanted to make something that was kind of in between the two, really. When you look at this is a bit smaller, but it's not huge at the same time. I like the idea of doing this project because why not? My biggest thing is work has been busy. I'm a bit time poor. I'm travelling quite a lot, and so when I go and see my girlfriend abroad over in Poland, kind of took some bits with me. I took the bogie and the kit, and the kit's longer. It's, like I said, for an 060, and with that you have the issues of fitting everything in. What do I do? So I started cutting bits up and just having some fun, and it's something that shouldn't stop you, really. The burnout of like doing any hobby when you're doing it all the time, and I've been doing it with the channel, you kind of do a video every week or every 2 weeks. Then when you don't have much time and you get back and you're trying to get these things done, it makes it a bit more chore like instead of the fun part. So I thought, let's do something that's kind of going to tickle my fancy, and that's why I wanted to do this. It was an easy enough project. The cab was the same as what you see when you build the kit. The bottom piece, I had to cut it up a bit to try and make it work. Nothing's perfect, half the bits aren't even square in it from when I've glued it together. The chassis drops out at the moment. I haven't fixed it in. It's just straight DC at the moment. I was thinking I could put a DC chip on it. Well, yes, I could. You go from what is like a £15 kit, whatever it is, can't remember the cost of it, that Dapol do. You then have a £30 chassis. Let's say you go and put a £100 chip in it and have sound. You might as well go and buy something that's really worth that pre-built. But building something up, having a giggle, I had fun painting it. So really, once I'd built the kit, I've got no footage of that, but I took some shots of it kind of coming together. I get mucky fingers at the moment because I've got bits of the weathering coming off on it. So I'm looking at it. I did do a matte varnish to seal it in, but fine. But when I was building it, so basically I sprayed it kind of blue in the end. Just went for a bluish colour because I wanted it to be dirty anyway. So we dirtied it down. Any of you that follow me on Instagram would have seen it kind of come together step by step to a certain point. But once the blue was on there, I also wanted to have the yellow ends. So I think I did the yellow ends first. Sprayed that on. I went for an actual ink yellow that I have. It was very bright when I did it. It's by Vallejo, I think. Is it Vallejo? Yeah, Vallejo. It's one of their game inks, and it's but quite shiny when it came off. I know it's a bit too much there. Then I painted the blue on top. Just used the airbrush, masked off some areas, and so then we had the yellow ends and the main blue body. After that, it was the obvious steps after that, you know, painting the various bits black and whatever. But the black came later. I decided to have a go at doing an oil wash, and I got some of this Winsor Newton oil colour, and I've seen people, because I do a little bit of Warhammer type stuff, and people using this to kind of dirty up the models. So you kind of mix it up with some thinners. I got some of the Sansadol solvents. I tried the thinner that they offer, which is that odorless one, and they call it a solvent thinner dilute. And it didn't really kind of thin down that the oil paint so well, so I can use this, and you only have to have the tiniest drop of the oil paints to start mixing up. And I pop it in the pot. I'd mix it around until I've got kind of what I feel like a thin mixture. I then had the great fun, someone's calling me, 1 second. I then had the great fun of painting it completely black with it, and I thought, oh, it will be dry in a couple of hours, and it took some time because some bits were thick and then other bits, and eventually it did dry. I went away with work, as I have done. It's taken me about 2 months to probably do it start to finish, and once it dried, I used the same thinner to put on a makeup sponge, and the makeup sponge, I picked up an old one off my girlfriend, but then actually you can get them from like Primark for a couple of £pounds for a little pack, and just ran it over just carefully. I don't want to take all of it off, but actually it wasn't going to take all of it, and I left in the crevices and corners, and nice build up of what would look like kind of grimy, just muckiness. And the ideas of doing dirty diesels is something that entertains me, but I don't want to go and ruin my class 25 that I've got behind me underneath the monitor there. I actually was going to use this. Who makes this one? Is it a Lima one or a Hornby one? But I've got this class 37. I thought, oh, I'll do it in this one. And before I put the mucky oil paint on, this I used some gloss varnish. This is quite shiny still from it. You can see that glint in the paintwork. And with that, this is ready actually for me to do the same thing on it, which I want to do, but I am worried about getting the windows, so I'll be careful when I go over. But once you do that wash and you do the thinner, it transformed it. And I put some pictures on Instagram, and they look really nice actually, because the blue light colours, the highlights kind of popped out without me actually putting any highlights on, and it started looking really, really good. So the next stage after that was to paint the roof black, and the running plate and everything, the appropriate colours. After that, it was quite simple. I had to put in the hazard stripes. I did a terrible job of this. I tried my best, but the lines on one side were evident on the Dapol kit, and on the other side I couldn't really see them, and I tried to match it, and the lines are a little bit, you know, they're wish-washy, they're not perfect when you look at it. And on the rear, just looking at the little picture there, it looks okay, and I think when it's going around, you're not really going to notice it too much. It might end up just sitting on a shelf. I don't know what I'll do with this, but it's kind of fun because it's shorter and stubbier, and it looks kind of cute with the bogie attached to it underneath, so I quite like that. So yeah, so once that was done, I painted the main buffer ends kind of that nice red colour, and that looked good. Got a cat. Hey buddy. So yeah, that's Rocket behind me in the mirror, in the window, not the mirror. Anyway, that was on, and then after that I got some black sooty weathering powders, and we just dusted it all up. Obviously I have painted the handles white, nice and simple, nothing fancy going on there, and I murked them up again, and I enjoyed making the thing really filthy. The biggest highlight is when I built this, I put an off-center exhaust pipe on it, and I thought that made it look cool. So yeah, and that's it really. Really simple project, and something you could do yourself. Find either a second hand or, you know, one of these with a broken bogie. You could have a quite beastly, that one, but you know, the bogie instead of a key. I don't know whatever they got. They're like Bocos and Cocos, aren't they, when they're on a big unit? But you know, you could have some fun with that. Get one of the Dapol kits. Like I said, pick this up from Tony's Trains, and I don't know, it's kind of a really worthwhile, fun, refreshing thing to do. And if I want to, I can run it with my other diesels. Obviously this one's a bit too clean, so I have to turn this one into a dirty diesel to practice. But you know, pick yourself up an old logo to practice doing weathering on. I'm far from an expert, but I thoroughly enjoyed having a go, if I'm honest with you. And really recommend just having a play. You can't get it wrong, because what's the worst that will happen? You haven't spent too much money on it, and you'll make it happen with weathering anyway. You'll look great once you've weathered it. So I think really all we do is I pop this on my test track, and you can see it going. I generally run it on the test track in my garden when I do my thumbnail for this, and hopefully do a nice thumbnail for you to all enjoy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. It's a nice quick one, nice easy one. Don't have time to, at the moment, to put the bigger videos on, so you've probably seen I've been doing some streaming. Generally do that on a Tuesday night if I'm in the country, if I'm not travelling or busy with something else. But again, thank you for coming to watch this. I hope you've hung around to the end. Let me know your comments and feedback. Well, let me know your feedback in the comments. Thanks to my patrons and my channel members for standing by me and being very supportive. And I'll see you on the next episode. When that might be, I don't know. But I'll find some time before we get back up into the loft and have some fun. Anyway, take care, look after yourselves, and goodbye. Why doesn't it work for the camera? Come on.